Transmission fluid's gone, he said, rain beating on his brow. Seized up solid. Like I hadn't noticed. My silk suit was ruined, my phone dead, midnight on some forgotten highway, and this guy, smelling of grease and rain, tells me my life is officially over. He doesn't know who I am, of course. Doesn't know I control empires. Still stranded, begging this tow truck hick for help. Humiliating. Then his kid pipes up from the cab, eyes wide. Is she a princess, Dad? A princess. If they only knew the mess I was in. They think I'm helpless. They have no idea how her quiet kindness will change everything. My silk suit was ruined, my phone dead. Midnight on some forgotten highway, and this guy, smelling of grease and rain, tells me my life is officially over. He doesn't know who I am, of course. Doesn't know I control empires. Still stranded, begging this tow truck hick for help. Humiliating. Then his kid pipes up from the cab, eyes wide. Is she a princess, Dad? A princess. If they only knew the mess I was in, they think I'm helpless. They have no idea how her quiet kindness will change everything. The storm had descended with biblical fury, transforming the ribbon of asphalt into a slick, treacherous waterway. Each raindrop felt like a tiny hammer, blow against the exposed skin of my face as I stood beside the lifeless husk of my Aston Martin. Damn GPS, leading me down this back road shortcut. Damn my schedule, for forcing me to even consider it. My cream-colored power suit, a symbol of everything I represented, clung to me like a second skin of failure, plastered to my skin. CEO Olivia Sterling, brought low by a flat tire and a dead phone. I hadn't seen another car for what felt like an eternity, just the relentless drumming of the rain and the mocking glare of my headlights illuminating the deluge. The conference, the endless presentations, the backstabbing and power plays, all meaningless now. I was vulnerable, exposed, and utterly alone. Then through the curtain of rain, twin beams of light appeared, growing steadily brighter. Hope surged through me, a desperate, grasping thing. I waved frantically, heedless of the water streaming down my face, praying they wouldn't just drive by. The vehicle lumbered closer, a battered tow truck, its blue paint faded and peeling. A single work light flickered above the cab, casting long, distorted shadows. It slowed, then stopped a few feet away. A man emerged pulling a worn baseball cap low over his brow. He was tall, leanly muscled, with a face weathered by sun and hard work. He moved with a quiet confidence, a stark contrast to my own unraveling composure. "You all right, ma'am?" His voice was rough but held a note of genuine concern. "My car, it just died," I managed, my voice trembling despite my best efforts. "And my phone's dead. I've been stuck here for hours." He approached, his boots splashing through the accumulating puddles. Behind him, in the cab, I saw a small face peering out, framed by the window. A child, maybe 7 or 8, his eyes wide with curiosity. He wore an oversized yellow raincoat, the hood pulled up, making him look like a tiny lost sailor. "Let's take a look," the man said, crouching beside the car, his movements economical and efficient. The beam of his flashlight danced over the engine, illuminating the problem with stark clarity. He worked quickly, his brow furrowed in concentration. After a few minutes, he straightened up, the rain plastering his dark hair to his forehead. "Transmission's gone," he confirmed, stating the obvious. "Been leaking for a while, I'd guess. Seized up solid. You're not going anywhere tonight." Panic clawed at my throat. "But I need to get back to the city. I have an important meeting in the morning." He shook his head gently. "The city's 2 hours away on a good day. In this weather, longer. And every hotel within 50 miles will be booked solid. People pulling off the highway to wait it out." "Then what am I supposed to do?" The tremor in my voice was unmistakable now. He hesitated, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. "I can tow your car to my garage and let you use my phone to call someone. But honestly, nobody's coming out in this weather. The roads are getting dangerous, and it's almost midnight." I looked around at the oppressive darkness, the relentless rain, the sheer desolation of the landscape. I was trapped, cold, wet, and utterly dependent on the kindness of a stranger. Could I just sleep in my car?" The words came out as a whisper, a plea. I don't mean to impose, but I have nowhere else to go. I'll pay you, whatever you want. I just need somewhere dry and safe until morning." He froze, his expression unreadable in the dim light. The silence stretched, heavy and uncomfortable. Humiliation washed over me. Olivia Sterling, begging a stranger for shelter. "Please," I added, my voice barely audible. "I know this is inappropriate, but I'm desperate." He seemed to come to a decision. "My name is Ethan Cooper. That's my son Jake in the truck. We live about 10 minutes from here. You can't sleep in your car, but you can stay at our place for the night. It's not fancy, but it's dry and warm, and you'll be safe." Relief flooded through me, so intense it almost brought me to my knees. "Thank you," I whispered, tears stinging my eyes. "I can pay you for the inconvenience." "I don't want your money," Ethan said firmly. "I want to get you out of this rain before you get hypothermia. Come on." He helped me into the passenger seat of the tow truck. Jake immediately scooted over to make room, his eyes wide with undisguised curiosity. "Are you okay, lady?" he asked, his voice high and clear. "You look really wet." "I am really wet," I admitted, managing a weak smile. "But I'll be okay now, thanks to your dad." Ethan climbed into the driver's seat and started the engine. The heater immediately blasted warm air, chasing away the bone-chilling cold. "We'll come back for your car in the morning," he said, glancing at me in the rearview mirror. "Right now, let's get you somewhere dry." The drive was short, a twisting route along narrow, unpaved roads, until we arrived at a modest one-story house with a detached garage that was clearly Ethan's workshop. A porch light cast a warm, inviting glow, a beacon in the storm. Inside, the house was small but impeccably clean and filled with the comforting clutter of family life. Toys scattered on the rug, photographs adorning the walls, the lingering scent of home-baked cookies. Ethan disappeared and returned moments later with a thick towel and a set of dry clothes, a pair of well-worn sweatpants and an oversized sweatshirt. "Bathroom's down the hall," he said. "Change and dry off. I'll make some coffee." When I emerged from the bathroom, feeling almost human again in the ridiculously large clothes, I found Ethan and Jake in the kitchen. Ethan was brewing coffee, the rich aroma filling the small space, while Jake sat at the table, sipping hot chocolate and munching on a cookie, his gaze fixed on me with childlike wonder. "Is she a princess?" Jake whispered loudly to his father. "She looks like a princess, even in your old clothes." Ethan smiled. "She's not a princess, buddy. She's just someone who had a rough night and needed help." "I'm Olivia," I said, pulling up a chair at the table. "And thank you, Jake. That's the nicest thing anyone said to me in a long time." Ethan poured me a mug of coffee, the warmth spreading through my chilled hands. The exhaustion was still there, but the fear had receded, replaced by a fragile sense of gratitude and something else, something unexpected. He continued. "So, what brings a woman in a $50,000 car in designer clothes out on a rural highway during a storm?" he asked gently. I laughed, a tired sound. "I was driving back from a business conference in the mountains. I took the scenic route to avoid traffic and to clear my head. I guess I should have stuck to the main highway." "What kind of business?" Jake asked, his eyes wide with curiosity. "I run a media company," I explained. "We own television stations and newspapers and websites. It's a big company with a lot of employees and a lot of responsibility. Television stations and newspapers and websites. It's a big company with a lot of employees and a lot of responsibility." "So you're like the boss of everything?" Jake asked, impressed. "Something like that," Olivia admitted. "Though tonight I feel like I'm not the boss of anything, not even my own car." Ethan smiled. "Everyone needs help sometimes. Being successful doesn't make you immune to car trouble or bad weather." As they talked, Olivia learned that Ethan was a widower who had been raising Jake alone for the past 3 years since his wife died from cancer. He ran his auto repair business from home so he could be available for Jake, sacrificing the larger income he could have made at a bigger shop in the city. "It's just the two of us," Ethan said, ruffling Jake's hair affectionately. "We make it work. Some days are harder than others, but we've got each other, and that's what matters." Olivia felt something tighten in her chest. She had built an empire, achieved everything she had set out to accomplish professionally, but she went home every night to an empty penthouse. She had no one waiting for her, no one who cared if she made it home safely. "That's beautiful," she said quietly. "The way you two are together, it's clear how much you love each other." "Jake is my whole world," Ethan said simply. "Everything I do for him." Eventually, Ethan showed Olivia to a small guest room with a comfortable bed and clean sheets. "I'm sorry, it's not what you're probably used to," he said. "It's perfect," Olivia said and meant it. "Thank you, Ethan, for everything. You didn't have to help me, but you did. That means more than you know." "My mom used to say, 'We're all just walking each other home,'" Ethan replied. "Sometimes that means literally giving someone a place to stay for the night." The next morning, Olivia woke to the smell of coffee and pancakes. She found Ethan and Jake in the kitchen, the boy chattering happily about school while his father made breakfast. They invited her to join them, and Olivia found herself sitting at their small kitchen table, eating homemade pancakes and listening to Jake's enthusiastic stories about his second-grade class. After breakfast, Ethan towed Olivia's car to his garage and spent several hours repairing it, while Olivia played board games with Jake in the house. She called her office on Ethan's phone, rescheduling her morning meeting, and for the first time in her career, she did not feel anxious about it. When Ethan finally finished the repair, he refused to charge her more than the cost of parts. "You needed help," he said. "I'm not going to profit off someone's bad luck." "At least let me pay you for the labor," Olivia insisted, "and for letting me stay here. You saved my life last night. I gave you a warm bed and some pancakes," Ethan said with a smile. "That's not worth thousands of dollars." Olivia looked at this man who had opened his home to a stranger, who had worked for hours to fix her car, who asked for nothing in return. She thought about her world of calculated transactions and strategic relationships, where every interaction had an agenda. "Can I take you both to dinner?" she asked impulsively. "To say thank you properly. Please let me do something for you." Ethan hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, but somewhere Jake can wear his sneakers. Not anywhere fancy." That dinner led to another, and then another. Olivia found herself driving the 2 hours from the city every weekend to visit Ethan and Jake in their small town. She taught Jake to play chess and helped Ethan with the business side of running his garage. She learned to appreciate the simple pleasures of their life: movie nights on the couch, Saturday morning pancakes, the way Jake ran to greet her every time she arrived. Ethan showed her a different way of measuring success, not in quarterly earnings or market share, but in moments of connection and the quiet satisfaction of work done well. He never asked her for money or favors, never seemed impressed by her wealth or status. He simply accepted her as Olivia, not as the CEO of anything. 6 months after that rainy night, Olivia made a decision that shocked her board of directors and her colleagues. She stepped down as CEO, appointing a trusted executive to take her place. She moved to the small town where Ethan and Jake lived, opening a consulting firm that allowed her to work remotely while being present for the life she was building. "Are you sure about this?" Ethan asked her the day she moved into a house just down the street from his. "You're giving up a lot." "I'm not giving up anything," Olivia said. "I'm gaining everything. The night my car broke down, I was successful but miserable. I had everything except what mattered most: connection, love, purpose beyond profit. You and Jake showed me what I was missing." She took his hand. "I fell in love with you the moment you offered me shelter without asking for anything in return. I fell in love with Jake when he called me a princess while I was wearing sweatpants 3 sizes too big. I fell in love with this life where people matter more than deals, and kindness is valued more than efficiency." Ethan smiled, pulling her close. "I fell in love with you when you asked if you could sleep in my car. I saw past the designer clothes and the expensive vehicle to the vulnerable person underneath who just needed help. That's who I fell in love with. The real you, not the CEO." They were married a year later in a simple ceremony in Ethan's backyard, with Jake as the ring bearer, proudly declaring that his dad was marrying a real princess. Olivia kept her consulting firm, but found her greatest joy in being part of a family, in being Jake's stepmom, in building a life measured not in dollars, but in love. Sometimes our greatest blessings come from our worst moments, from the nights we break down on empty highways in the rain. And sometimes the people who save us are not the ones we expect, but the ones who see us clearly and offer help without asking for anything in return. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of unexpected connections, second chances, and discovering what truly matters in life. Leave a comment telling us about a time when a stranger's kindness changed everything, or when losing control led you to find what you were really searching for. Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today.